So how many electricians out there have replaced your normal standard ceiling pendant, which a lot of houses still have and we still put in, but a lot of new builds, they get the new house and they say, excuse me mate, can you put some downlights in this house? Not a problem. So we come along and we put not just one downlight, we'll more than likely put 5 or 6. So in that position where the ceiling rose is, we've got to put a junction box. We've got to put a junction box. But what sort of junction box? For years, these were the go-to, the little 5 amp junction boxes. And then Wago brought theirs out, the little junction box. It also fits in the hole, so they all do the job. And then Whisker have also got a little junction box, which uses Wagos also. And we've got the Quickfix JB4, which also is a great to terminate for, it's got the green Wago in there as well, to terminate for the lighting. So that could fit into the ceiling. But then we've also got the Quickwire. This one is a bit new to the market in my eyes. I've never used it before. So I thought I'd do a video installing them all, making use of each one to see what I think is best. And then I'd love to know what you think is best too. So what I've set up here is your live in, your live out, and your switch live out. Basically, this is what you'd find in the sort of house where you've got a ceiling rose. So this is the actual what you'll find, and then someone's going to say, right, can you put downlights in? So what you've got to do is put a joint box on these and then get a load going out, basically, which will feed your downlights. So 4 cables going to one joint box, and which is best. And what I wanted to do as well is just, this is sort of a test to see what the resistance is of the cable, basically, once it goes through the joint box, to see which joint box is best. And that's from the live down to the switch and back up. So after we put the joint box in, we'll find out if the resistance gets higher or lower or better. So then to test from there to the switch live, which is all the same length, these are all 3 meter long, is 23 ohms. So with the light pendant, 23 ohms. So the first one we're going to do is the Whisker box. And this Whisker box, it comes so you can fit Wagos in it. So we want the earth, the live, and the neutral. And these are a bit tricky to get in there. But they go in somehow. Oh, there we go, it clicks in. So we want the earths, live, neutrals, and then the switch live to get in there. We'll put a 2 in there. Let's whip this out. But then obviously we've got the switch live there, and what we're going to want is a load going out to the lights. So we'll incorporate this in with it as well. There we go. And what we want to do is get a bit more on these. So what we want is the live in, the live out, and the switch live, and the load going out. So let's whip these off. We don't want these on. And we want a decent bit in there. So what we'll do, we'll terminate them back a bit more. There we go. Sugar. Now what meant to happen, back under that. So then what we want to do is get these into the box, because I think that will go through a downlight hole. For the downlight, that will just get in there. Look, by the looks of it, it will fit it back in the ceiling, so you can do it from down below. Bonus. So we'll open this up. I like to try and terminate them before they go into the box, because once they get in the box, it's a bit hard to get your cutters in there. So we'll get that in there like so, and you get the sheath so it grips onto that. Look, that's a live in, live out. Into there. Probably going to need a little bit more. There we go. And then this one will be your switch. I just found out as well, you can just mount it where you want, and you could slide it in the top. Can you? Yes. So they're all inside the box. And what I want to do is get all the earths so I can remember which one is the switch live. I'm going to put that bit of sleeving on there, like so. So we're going to get the earth to be able to all connect. There. Let's try and get it nice and neat. And then get some sleeving on them. And for the Wagos, you want to leave a decent bit, enough to go into the Wago, look, like that, enough to get in there. So that, and then this one wants to go into there, so that into that one. Junction boxes always take time to do, and then this bit of earth might be a bit short, but it'll do. And then this small one can go into there. So then the plan is to open up the Wagos with the little levers and get them to go in. test kit wants to go off. That one goes in there. These are a bit tight to get in. This one goes in there. Tell you what, let's use a screwdriver to flick the levers back up. And then this one, a bit long, but it'll be fine. Push the levers back up. And then this one into here. So there's a spare earth basically in that Wago, because you cannot get Wagos in 4s. So if you look like that, that'll form it in there nice and neat. And then what we want to do is we want these ones to be the neutrals. So if we can get this like so, that one in there, these ones will be your lives. It's a bit stiff now. I'm going to have to use this to push it into the Wago. There we go, that one. With this neutral, because you can push them in, you don't have to open the levers. You can push it in, he says. Oh, doesn't want to go, so we've got to try and open the lever so we can get that in there. There we go, that's in there. Open the lever. See, that is your neutrals connected ish. There we go, push that in there. And then we can open up for the lives. So this will be your live in, your live out. Flick that nice and out. And then you want your switch live in with the live, so it sends us a live down to the switch. And then this one will go into there with the switch live. So then you've got your load going out. Get rid of that, bit bigger in there. Just get that one in, that one there. There we go. So that isn't fantastic. I broke it by accident, but then this is all in there. So basically you've got your neutrals, your permanent lives, your switch live, because that will take the switch live out to the load, which is going to go to the rest of the downlights that you put in. So that junction box will sit in there, doesn't need a cable tie around it, and can go straight into the ceiling. And then this will act as a switch. So we're saying the switch is on. So from the live up to the load, what is the resistance? 0.12. That's not bad. So in the Whisker box, we've got 0.12 ohms. So the next one, let's use a Wago box. What it's properly used for, or meant to be used for. Wagos with Wagos. Get that out, don't need the instructions. So let's take this one to bits. what we're going to do with this whisker box. And what I like about these boxes, you've got one entry, so you can get all your cables in there and then shove it into the ceiling, and it's a nice fit. Look, it'll go straight in there, so we'll go straight into the ceiling once you cut one of these holes. So let's get this in. Shouldn't need to terminate it all again. So let's get your live. I'll tell you what we'll do first. We'll put the Wagos on. So we've got the earths. Open her up. Yeah, sleeve in. Gotta put this on. Earth. Let's chop this down a bit. Earth. Earth in there, nice. And then that one in there, sugar, nice as well. Look, all the earths are in their little Wago beautifully. And then let's do the neutrals. So let's get rid of that. Then your neutral out for the circuit, your neutral out to the lights, and then we've got your lives. So your live in, your live out, and your live to the switch. Now this leaves these two, sugar, which will be your switch live. There we go. Looks a complete mess like that. So what we're going to try and do is get it looking a bit neater inside the box. Right, so what we want to try and do is get the earth inside there. Look at that, that will fit inside there perfect. Your neutrals, they'll get inside there. You can put the lives in as well, inside there, and then your switch live can go in on its own. There we go, in that box. And then you can see here we can get that in there with the switch live and the live out, he says, live out and live in. And then once they're all in there, you can shut the lid up. Oh, that was easier to do. They're a lot easier than that, I think. Probably wouldn't use them, but that is a lot easier. Look, then you can shove, put your cable tie on there to be maintenance free, and put that straight back in to the ceiling where you haven't got to worry about it. It's nice and easy. One more thing. So let's test the resistance of what we've connected up in there. I think this is possibly going to be the same. Even better connection. Don't even understand why, because it's in the same Wagos, but 0.0 ohms. Right, so we'll go to the Wago box. .09 ohms. So then next, what we'll try is this. I'm not a fan of these either, because they're screw terminations. If you have a look inside of these, I'll open her up. They're just old hat now. Hager, yes, they still sell them, but they're old hat sort of thing. No one, I don't know many people that use them. You've got to knock these out, and you've got 4 terminations in there, and and I'll show you how you wire this up. So let's open her up, take it to bits again. And what we want in this one is basically we're going to have 4 cables going into it. So we want to get rid of this little knockout, this little knockout, and now we're going to get 2 into that. Doubt it. So we need to get this knocked out and this knocked out, so 4 cables can go into it. So let's see how we're going to do this. Ideally, let's take these out. I like to take these all the way out rather than shove them in, because it just makes it easier to terminate for me. You can fix this down with a couple of screws as well. Look, it's got a couple of screw holes in there to be able to fix it to either the joists, but as you may well know, these swing freely inside a lot of the ceiling roses. So what we want to do is, if we can get this one up here and then this one up here, so this one will go in and this one will also go in, but then we want this one, because with these you're best off fixing them to something because they can get pulled around. I just think these should be better and should be fixed. Well, they should be, because they've got holes in them. But then you form them in there. So what we're going to do with these, so it makes it easier for us to terminate, we're going to clip it. We'll clip it into the position so you can terminate it easy. Get a bit more on that one. Then that one can go in there like so. Sugar. Then this one, I want to bring the load right down and in. Put a clip on that and make sure we don't lose them screws. This is the thing with these as well. Say if you're in a loft, maybe terminating these, them screws, if you take them out and you lose them, you'll be rooting around forever. So if we do the easy one first, which will be 2 cables, so the switch live that comes up from the switch, we'll get it round and put it in there. Then this will be the load live, and you can't sweep them round fantastically. In here, they're quite small. So what I want to do is get this to come round and into here. There we go. And then the switch live, which this will be the switch live outlet that will go out to your downlights that you put up. So you get this, if you can find it, rolling around in wherever you are, and then tighten her up. get that to fit in there as neat as possible, because you haven't got a fantastic amount of room. Like that. Then now what we're going to try and do is the lives. So this will be the live to the switch, and then this will also be the live going out, and then your live coming in. So it'll be the carry-on feed to the rest of the lights. Terminate that. Get that off there as well. And then that. It'll be interesting to know the resistance of these, whether they're any good, and if they're better. Because I know it might be slightly, but they could be slightly better because they're a screw termination. But these can also come loose. I've been to no end of these where they've come loose and they've arced, and they're just really bad over time. So get that in there, and sometimes you can't tighten them up properly because someone's put too many cables in there. Someone comes along and thinks, well, I'm just going to junction box it straight out of here to a few more lights. Then it'll have too many cables in there and be a complete mess. So then this one, look at that, that'll be plenty enough to go into there for your neutral. And this one can go into there for your neutral. And then we'll bring this nice and neat out of there for your neutral. So this is your neutral light in and out, and then to the lights. And sometimes these break as well. If you do them up, if you're heavy-handed and you do them up too much. So we've got to get that in there. So then now we just want the earth to get connected, and there's, unfortunately, there is 4 in here. So we're going to have to get them down nice and tight. So then this can also go in here. These are the, when someone, normally they have them and maybe they've got another lighting circuit, 2 switch lights coming out, so they just don't bother connecting the earths. I haven't got a clue why, but so many people do it. They just think, well, earths are not needed. They are needed, mate. They are. This is the thing. They're needed for the circuit to work properly. Turn that off again. So then, because we've got a lot of slack on that one, this is the last bit of room. Because now there is no chance of you ever putting any circuit. Well, I don't say no chance. People do it all the time. There is a chance, but I wouldn't say you want to put any more circuits inside this junction box, because look at that, it is a spaghetti junction, but it's in there, and we see this all the time inside our people's houses. And you put the lid on, screw it on, and that's that, spot on. But then what is the resistance of the junction box? Let's see. Turn this back on. .10. That's pretty good. That's better. So that's a good resistance on there. So we'll say the Hager JB is 0.10. So then let's rip this off I'm going to have to just re-terminate the cables, I think, because now we're going to put it into the Quickfix JB. Oh look, we've got green one in there already. Keep that in there. And then what I want to do, I'll have to come in 2 in one end, 2 in the other. So we'll make it a lot longer to be able to use the cable. And then to rip this apart, half the time you'll just cut them off and leave it. So what we want with this is if we do 2 straight in, which will be your live and your live in and out even, and then we'll bring these right down. So we've got the switch live and the load to go in at the other end. I think what we'll do, we'll start from scratch, chop the ends off. There we go. Right, so what I want to do with this is these have got to be long enough. I think you need quite a bit of length on the cable to be able to get these in nice and neat. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to terminate these 2. And about go in there. That should live out. And then live in. That out of there. Like that. So then these can fit in this box nice and neat. These are a bit stiff to get in as well. I've used these before. I don't mind these boxes, these are okay. So you get these in here, and then this one, just give it a bit of a wiggle to get it in there. So that's your live and neutral in and out. And then we want to make sure we've got plenty on these as well. So this will be your load and your switch. But I guarantee you I'm going to forget. So let's get your load, switch, live in, live out. Always like to mark things as well. If you can, get a pen, write on there what they are. Maybe not just for you, for the next spark that comes along. Make their life a little bit easier. Help each other out, you know. I like it when you go to a house and they've written a complete detail of what they've done in that house, and maybe left you a little note saying make sure you get paid. So then this one is your switch live. So let's get that in there. Oh, there we go. Get a bit of a push and they go in nice. And this one will be your load. So let's get that in there. Just get it in nice and tight. Give it a bit of a... Oh, there we go. Open her up, and you can also fix them with these little holes in here. Look, they've got little knockouts. There we go. You fix them down with your screws without having to disrupt anything there. And these as well, he says, come in here nice and easy. I struggled with these at first, but then put these into it and push them down so they slide into it in effect. And really you need another 3 in there, which is not too bad, because then if you've got another light going out, which I don't think you would because you won't get them in there, but right, so let's do the earths first, because the earths are the ones that are never going to be disconnected. They're all going to always be in there, in effect. So if we get these earths like so, they're just going to go into there. So let's get these terminated in. There we go. That's one. Two. Right, I'm probably going to do something now that you've all done it, we've all done it, but yeah, you shouldn't do it. I put a continuous bit of earth in because you've got thousands of reels in the van, so you come on, you guess what you're going to do. But for now, rather than me go back out to the van, and it still identifies it, I've put a stupid bit in, I know. Look at this, we don't have to be a green to identify it, but I've got a green Wago in here because I don't know why. I've just got one in here already. Someone give me the box. And then put them all into the earths. Get that in there. See, these are quite easy to work with. I like these ones. These ain't too bad. Get them in there. That one didn't get in there enough, look. So you can see, nor did that one. Flipping hell, why not? So you can see where you haven't put them in good enough. So that needs to be possibly straight up in there. There we go. That's better. Connection straight up in there. Better connection. So there we go. That is all your earths inside there. So then what we want is we've got your live out and your live in. So these two, I've got a comb right down here. So this is your loop live. If you see on here, this is your loop. So this is live in and out. What we want. So we'll put this in there, and that also go in there. But then we've got your switch. So which one's your switch? This one. So we want to put a bit of ID on that as well. I know some people, they miss this out, but just take a bit of time, stick it in there, because you'll confuse someone without that on. So make sure this, and you can have a little bit of slack in that box, look, bring it back and round. It's nice to have a little bit of slack, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you've got the space, so use it. And then that can go beautifully in there. There we go. And then what you've got is your load out. But what we're going to do first is the neutrals. So your neutral, and this will be your neutral out. So there we go, get them there. About good. Get these. And then let's get your neutrals in here. So this will be your neutral for your load out, and then this one will be the loop neutrals. And that is into there. Pull this back up, and that will go into God damn. Sometimes you've got to use your kit to push it in. That is not going anywhere. And the last two is your switch live and your load live. So basically it will switch out to the lights. Look at that, 2 in 1 worked out. So we've got 3 in there. You could have got away with a 2, but didn't. There we go. So there we go. That is your box with your Quickfix JB4. And then you shut her up, nice and simple. And then these 2 little holes are for your cable ties to make it maintenance free once again. So that's all terminated in there. So all on is a Quickfix JB4. Knock this back on. That's pretty good resistance, 0.06. Sugar. I think it's getting better because the cable's getting shorter. 0.06. So then we've got this, which Quickwire have given me, which is quite interesting. I think it just looks pretty, doesn't it? So let's see how this works, because what we've got on here is your live and neutral in, your neutral and live out, your live and switch live, and your neutral and live to load. So basically that is that. But how quick is it to terminate? Let's start from scratch and do it all once again. And the thing is with these as well, they're slimline, so they will go inside. Something for that one. They will go inside the hole straight up after you've done the downlight. So there we go. Now with these, they just push straight in. If you look on here, for 1 mil, 1.5, it can have up to 16 amps load through this. So I'm interested in what the resistance will be, because look, they click straight in. They're not one-time use either, because you get this to open it back up. So if it's that easy to open up, will them cables pull out? Because you've got quite a lot of terminal to go in there. Look, it's sort of 15 mil. So let's see. So what we've got, I need 15 mil. So this is why these cuts come with it, I suppose. So 15 mil, which is about there, should we say? There. Live in and out. We'll do this as well. I'm going to need a little bit more on that one, I reckon. And then the live in, it needs to be, that's quite a lot, and I'm not used to doing that amount of copper showing. But we want the live neutral earth in here. Oh, I can't see it. So you can see if it goes into there, if you can just see that. If it just goes into there, where you get it and push it. That looks like it's too much. So maybe you need to chop it down to make it a little bit more. So live, neutral and earth straight in. Don't need any sleeving. And that's in. That's it. Right, okay. And then this one, you've got your live, neutral and earth, so it's swinging round. But then that's not level on there. So let's chop that level. Live, neutral and earth. You can just feel it when you push it in as well though. So, and that's clicked in. It's quite, I like that. That's simple. That's very simple. So then as well, we'll get these. So then what we've got here is the load. To live, neutral and earth. That's in there, nice and tight as well. Sometimes this seems too easy to be true. Like, so then we've got your live and your switch live. So the switch live is going to be the blue. So we want to get this the other way around. I want to make sure it's nice and straight. So wiggle it around a bit, get it, feel it go in nicely. That's, yeah, look at that. And that's it. That is it. Just put it in there, and that 100% goes into a downlight, look. And then you can even, if you want to clip it somewhere, let's say with this, you can clip it down nice and neat as well. And maybe if you did a bit better than what I did, but out of interest then, let's see the resistance. 0.10. So then the Quickwire, .10. I would assume, because the cable's shorter, it'd be a higher reading. Like, that's interesting to see how easy it is to pull these out. You're never gonna get someone hanging off it unless you get monkeys inside your loft. But flipping dingers, that is, oh, no, you're not gonna pull that out, really. Nah. So that's it. You've got the Whisker box, the Wago box, the Hager old type one, the Quickfix, and the Quickwire. After you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know in the comments which one that you're going to be using for your electrical work.